Episode 5 begins in the First Army's camp on the outskirts of Chernast. Mal returns injured, and the soldiers run to his aid. While in East Ravka, the conductor, Inij, Jesper, Kaz, and the performer are at the palace. Kaz is disguised as one of the palace guards, and they are briefed on the palace laws by a guard. Still in their presence, a man struggles to break into the palace to see the sun summoner but is caught. The others are granted access to the palace. Alina converses with Marie and Nadia in her chamber when Genya bursts in to remind Marie and Nadia of their duties. They run off. Genya gets Alina ready, and they talk about Grisha's fate after the fold is destroyed. Alina says the things she would like to do, one of which is traveling around the world. Genya wants Alina to be careful of powerful men. She doesn't say more when there is a knock at the door. A fabricator, David, who created the blue light used in crossing the fold, comes in. He gives Alina a glove that can ease her performance at the winter fete by splitting light beam. From Kerrigan, Alina tries to split beams with and without the glove and realizes the glove isn't necessary. She returns it. Throughout David's stay, Genya acts nervous, and Alina teases Genya about having an interest in him. Kaz plots the kidnap and their escape. He finds a room he believes will be the perfect place to get Alina. Meanwhile, Inij and Jesper chat and think of a way out of the palace. Alina sees the celebration outside and begs Genya to let her join, and they sneak out. After a while, Genya wants them to go inside, but Alina argues that no one knows her face when they are distracted by a play where Alina destroys the fold. Ivan sees them and calls them to get back into the palace. They leave, but Jesper already heard their conversation. In the camp, the general wants to send news through a soldier to Kerrigan that the stag has been found. Mal insists that he should be the one to send the word because he found it. The commander agrees that they both should go. Jesper describes Alina to his team. They decide where they will pick her from, and Kaz explains to them that the room has an invisible door that can only be accessed by special Grisha power. The conductor, Arkin, explains how they can open the door and tells them what they'll need. He gives Jesper what they'll need. Kaz assigns the conductor to get Alina, and Inij questions the decision that he's still new to the team, but Kaz retorts that Arkin knows his way around Grisha locks. Kerrigan, Alexander, prepares in his office. Alina walks in with his kefta, and she offers to wear it on him. She thanks him for the gloves he had earlier sent through David. She explains her plans for the future of Ravkans and Grisha. Kerrigan is pleased and tells her that she means a lot to him and everyone. She kisses him. Jesper walks into the stable but is distracted by a guy. Jesper tells him that the ambassador requests his horses. The guy starts a conversation with Jesper, and Jesper flirts with him. Soon, they make out. The winter fete has started, and people are gathered everywhere and discussing. Kaz, Inij, and Arkin's work on their plan, and Kerrigan greets the king and queen, who compliment the event's planning. Alina walks into the room, but Kerrigan stops her. He says she is to be accompanied by palace guards and compliments her looks too. It is time to introduce Alina to the people. Kerrigan does the introduction and uses his Grisha power to darken the entire room. Alina steps onto the stage and shows her powers to everyone. She is done, and the light comes back on. People begin to bow in reverence and chant, Santka Alina. Meanwhile, Jesper and Dima bid themselves goodbye after a time of affection. Dima is told by a palace guard that no one should leave, but Jesper already took a horse from the stable. Arkin sneaks into the room with an invisible door. Mal and the soldier arrive at the little palace and are told to leave their weapons before being granted entrance to the palace. Some guards escort Alina. She sees the priest, and he tells her she is becoming more dangerous and people are erecting altars of worship for Santka Alina. She inquires the reason, and he tells her it's because of her great power to do a lot of things. Genya finds her and takes her to get ready for dinner. Mal and Tofin, the soldier, see Kerrigan. They introduce themselves to Kerrigan, but Kerrigan excuses Tofin and the other guards. Kerrigan asks Mal how he knows he found the right stag. Mal shows a drawing of the stag and explains that they are alike. He tells him how the stag looks really, the size and color. Kerrigan tells him to mark the location of the stag on a map, but Mal refuses. He says until he sees Alina. Mal explains his relationship with Alina. Kerrigan tells Mal to tell him a personal thing about Alina. Kerrigan asks Mal what Alina's favorite flower is. He says blue iris, so Kerrigan agrees that if he confirms from Alina that it is true, he'll let Mal meet her. Word is sent to Bagra that the stag has been found. She wants to know the whereabouts, but the messenger tells her that the general is aware already. Bagra mutters that the general shouldn't have such power. Genya and Alina return to the changing room. Arkin attacks Alina. He slits her throat, and says from General Zlatan, but Genya fights him. He shoots at Genya and leaves but is caught. Genya runs to Alina and calls her Marie. She tries to save her, but Marie asks that she doesn't want to die in the wrong face, so Genya changes the face from Alina's to Marie's, but Marie dies. Kaz explains to Inage that he earlier saw two identical dresses in the fitting room, one for Alina and the other for an infirmary. He says he set Arkin up with the imposter Alina because he suspects Arkin had earlier made a deal with General Zlatan at a rally which would sabotage their mission. Inage and Kaz go after the real Alina. Inage and Kaz meet Alina and tell her they are to escort her to dinner. On their way, they meet Kerrigan, who dismisses them. Kerrigan gives her flowers and leaves. A Grisha soldier suspects Kaz and Inage and goes after them. He loses Inage as they separate but follows Kaz. Meanwhile, the messenger speaks to Mal about the stag and takes him to Bagra's chamber. She attacks him, and he falls to the ground, where he sees Tofin's corpse. They both fight, but Mal kills her. Kerrigan takes Alina to his chamber, and they make out but are distracted by Ivan. He tells Kerrigan that Genya and Marie were attacked and Alina was the target, and they have a suspect. Kerrigan tells Ivan to wait at the door and goes to excuse himself from Alina. He leaves, and Bagra comes through a secret page to his chamber and asks Alina to follow her. Bagra tells Alina that Kerrigan wants to expand the fold and use it as a weapon. Bagra tells her that Kerrigan is the Black Heretic. Alina says she is lying, but Bagra convinces her that she is Kerrigan's mother and knows what her son is onto. She reveals that Kerrigan, in a bid to create his army from men, women, and children, turned them to Valkar, the fold. Bagra explains Kerrigan's story and obsession for power, and she says he wants to use Alina to get the stag that will enhance his abilities and help him weaponize the fold, and tells Alina she must hide. Bagra gives Alina a description of food storage where she must hide along with some other Grisha who will keep her safe. Ivan and Kaz fight, but Inage kills Ivan. Kerrigan returns to his chamber, but Alina is gone. Kerrigan confronts his mother and threatens her. Alina doesn't go to the food storage room. Instead, she hides inside a box in the carriage Jesper had prepared for their escape. Kaz and Inage return that they lost her, but Jesper seems fulfilled and starts the ride. They leave.